Hello, my name is Andres Cristino, and in this project is called Find Yourself. This project was developed for your course Design Trends, and if your course on designing for the common good by creating an inclusive experience for people with visual disabilities. The goals of this project is to explore how design can promote inclusion, empathy, and social interaction between people with and without visual disability. The main problem addressed in the project is the lack of social international and inclusion for people with visual disabilities. Visual disability refers to the partial or total loss of vision, even after medical condition. People with this condition often face barrier when interacting with their environment and with other people. Many individuals without disabilities do not know how to approach or interacting with someone who cannot see. Because of these, people with visual disabilities can sometimes feel excluded from social space. This lack of international can generate feelings such as anxiety, insecurity, or isolation, which limits their participation in everyday social life. From a design perspective, this shows that the problem is not only about accessibility, but also about a social system that affects international and inclusion. To better understand the user, it is important to recognize some characteristics of people with visual disabilities. According to the World Health Organization, around 2.2 billion people in the world lives with some form of visual impairment. People with visual disabilities often rely more on sense such as touch and hearing to then navigate their environment. They may also use tools such as braille with canes, audiobooks, or screen readers to access information and move safely in their surroundings. Because of this, sensory interaction become very important when designs inclusive and accessibly experience. To understand how designers have addressed this problem in the past, I researched different inclusive design projects. One example is Dialogue in the Dark, cre- created by Andrea Heinig. This experience takes place in completely darkness, where visitors are guided by blind facilitator. Participants must rely on their sense, such touch, smells, and hearing to explore the space. The purpose of this project is to create empathy and change how people perceive a visual disability. Another example is Wingspan, a board game designed by Elizabeth Hagraff. Later adaptation to the game improve accessibility by modifying icons, colors, and text to make it easier for people will allow vision to play. Their example should know design can help create more inclusive experience for society. Even though this project are bubble and identify some opportunities for improvement, for example, dialogue in dark create empathy, but it's mainly works as a temporary experiment. Most people participate only one case, which may limit this long their social impact. In the case of inclusive game, there can sometimes become complex, which may make it difficult for some user to fully understand the rules. Because of this, there is an opportunity to design something that is simple, repeatable, and encourages constant interaction between users. This approach aims to create a long-lasting social impact throughout design. Based on this analysis, I propose the design of an include interactive game. The goal of the game is to break the social barrier that often exists between people with visual disabilities and those without disabilities. To play the projects encourages interaction, inclusion, and shared experiences. This proposal prioritizes the concept of the common good, meaning that the design aims to benefit a broader community rather than focusing only on a visual user. The game creates a shared experience where different people can interact, learn from each another, and develop empathy. Well, this Mooper shows the visual and concept inspiration for the project. The focus of the design on sensory exploration, texture, and interaction. The intention is to create a playful and accessibly experience that simulates different senses, allowing people with visual disability to interact with the game in a natural way. There's references help it define the aesthetic, direction, and sensory quality of the project. Well, in this part, we can show the sketches, many ideas to many forms to do a game interactive and include to the both sides to person. Well, the sketching helped define the structure of the board, the placement of the complements, and interaction between the cards and the game surface. This help translate the concept into a functional and inclusive design. And in the part in the bigger is the design if I choose. The final design in an inclusive sensory game called Find Yourself. The game includes six boards, each contained 12 complements. Each complement contains texture or sense capsule. The player must identify using their senses. When player identify the correct card, mechanisms allow the complement to fall down, helping player track the progress without relying on vision. The game also includes 17 cards, each with a texture or sense of label in both braille and conventional text, allowing both visual impaired and sighted players to participate equal. It is experienced like Loteria and Adivina quién. And this is the final results in the sensory eye inclusive game designed to promote interaction, empathy, and society. This project also reflects the concepts of system thinking described by Manuel Lima. System thinking encourages designers to look beyond the product itself and consider the larger system surrounding a problem. In this case, the system include people with visual disabilities and people without disabilities, social interaction, accessibility, and emotional well-being. By creating a game that allows different people to interact and learn together, their design contributed to the common good, helping build more inclusive and empathy community. Thank you for listening.